Hey everyone, how's it going? What I'd like to talk about today is FontAwesome, which you've probably heard of. It's this really cool icon set that you can use on your website for free. It's pretty straightforward to use. You can put spans into your document and apply one of these classes to them, like FA-arrows, for example, will give you those arrows. FA-car will give you a car icon. And these things are really cool, and they can come in super useful and for a lot of websites. And in fact, you see them all over the place now. But a lot of these icons are kind of common application icons or icons that sort of have a more universal meaning than just text might do, and so can be used for toolbars and things like this. And so what I use FontAwesome for are the icons in the game menus in arcade.ly. And the reason I do that is that I think if your first language isn't English, and based on my traffic patterns, I would imagine quite a lot of people who hit this site, their first language isn't English. These icons are perhaps a little bit more informative than just the text on its own. I could provide translations of the text, and maybe when usage of the site has grown a bit, maybe I'll do that. If there are particular countries where I'm receiving a lot of traffic. If I was getting a lot of traffic from China or India or France or Japan or Germany, maybe I'll provide localizations into those languages in due course. But at the moment, a cheap and easy way of kind of communicating the intent here is to just supply these icons, and they're great. They look pretty stylish. I'm not a graphic designer. I kind of suck at this stuff. They're free to use. And I generally don't have any problems with them. But what I've found now that I've sort of optimized my page loads quite a bit is that I'm running into this issue where, as you can see here, the icons take a little while to appear. And it's because FontAwesome CDN simply can't keep up at the moment. And there are various reasons why that might be the case. So what I'm actually considering doing is moving over to serving these up locally. So at the moment, you can see if we go down here and have a look at the network trace, what you can see is that I'm pulling stuff in from use.fontawesome.com. So you can see, but I mean, here's the issue now. So this illustrates it perfectly, in fact. So I'm getting a tiny little style sheet. You can see 683 bytes, and it's taking 414 milliseconds to retrieve that from the FontAwesome CDN. And actually, most of that time is spent waiting for the content. So you can see 410 milliseconds spent waiting for the content there. So that's pretty aggravating. And a little bit further down, you can see that I've actually pulled in another style sheet from FontAwesome, and that again, it's taking 126 milliseconds, and of that, 122 milliseconds is just waiting for the content. And then there's loading the web font itself, and that's 75k, or 76k, call it. And it's actually taking 280 milliseconds in total, of which 130 milliseconds is just waiting for the content. So their CDN is pretty slow. Whereas you can see that here, what I'm doing for most of my stuff. So let's have a look at this Starcut. So min.js. This is the game code. You can see I'm using CloudFlare here, and I've got a hit there, and that was that's not doing very well here today. So that's 15.5k. It took 51 milliseconds. Again, an annoyingly long period of time there is actually waiting for the content, but there's always going to be some latency. But you can see it's much better. 37 milliseconds of latency before I actually receive the content. Here we've got the kind of my common library, which is really code that the games share. So there's a lot of common code in the games for displaying things like scores, rendering the background, particle modeling, all this kind of stuff. It's just common code, and it's just under 33k. And again, 27 milliseconds of latency and then 13.61 milliseconds to actually receive the content. So you can see that the CloudFlare is throwing files at the browser much more quickly, much more efficiently than the FontAwesome CDN. Now, I'm not paying anything for FontAwesome, so frankly, I probably shouldn't be moaning about it, but it is something that you probably want to bear in mind. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, hopefully you've seen that FontAwesome is indeed awesome, but that serving it from its own CDN rather than hosting it yourself may not give you the best performance results. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.